Vermillion, South Dakota is a place where artists, activists, and creative thinkers are working to make their community better for everyone. Vibrant public art is just one of the signs that the culture of this town is evolving. Much of the energy that supports this shift comes from innovative local leaders who are part of the Change Network. People like Susan Hegestad, an artist, teacher, and community advocate who lives in Vermillion.
Like, people come and go because it's a university community, so there's a little of that vitality and always something new. But it's still safe, and it's still a small town, and people do watch out for each other. Like, there just really is, like, it's an unfair proportion of, like, cool people in one town.
The Change Network engages with creative local professionals who want to help guide their community to higher levels of inclusiveness and social diversity. For Susan, that meant putting together a series of events to foster interest in art, a painted public piano on Main Street, a rooftop opera,
We like to invent and come up with new things to do all the time, you know, and it's pretty soon it's just like there's this fracturing of all this energy that I thought, well, what if we couldn't occasionally bring all that great creative energy together in a more cohesive, like, let's think of really big picture things that we want to do for Vermillion in terms of the arts and culture.
Sandra Kern-Molman is a performer, playwright, and director who uses the art of theater to reach people and encourage them to grow in new directions. She was writing a children's play to be staged in Vermillion, but the pandemic had other plans. So she reimagined the message for a wider audience, and like so many other artists during COVID, chose to present the play online.
We actually had performers from all over. We had a professional actor out of New York City that was Zooming from his apartment. We had a wonderful actor from Rapid City, South Dakota.
Keep going on.
We are a mighty nation because we embedded in our national experiment the chance to fix what is broken.
To take action, to speak your truth.
To take some kind of action every day towards your biggest hope for our future.
You are creating this story. I am creating this story. We all are.
For our ancestors and for our kids. We, the people, have the power.
It felt like it was going to be very distant, and actually just the opposite happened. It turned out being a really intimate production, and we realized it was because everybody was sitting and watching from their kitchen table or participating from their own sofa, you know. So it made for some really intimate, beautiful conversations.
This eclectic theater event was funded with a grant from the Change Network, whose programs help civic and cultural groups of all kinds build equitable community partnerships.
As an independent artist, it's a lot harder to get funding that doesn't come with a whole organization tied to it.
As an assistant professor of art at the University of South Dakota, Amber Hansen helps build connections between local artists and leaders in business, education, and government.
A lot of the grants are either too small or the funding timeline is too short for deep, authentic community engagement to take place within those timeframes. So with the Change Network, it was less about, you know, the product, and it was focused more on the process. So just really having the resources to connect with artists from all across South Dakota was really beautiful.
Amber Hansen helps facilitate the creation of community-based murals in Vermillion, funded in part by the Change Network. She collaborated with Reina Hernandez and other artists to create a series of murals that reflect the region's native culture.
There are two panels of the mural, and the first panel was inspired by conversations that were taking place during the workshops. People were talking about people who were influential in their lives, and people's mothers came up a lot, and especially Indigenous mothers. We also asked people, what imagery is missing in the visual landscape. And I remember specifically somebody saying images of compassion, which is so beautiful and moving.
I always think it's really important to insert brown bodies into the artwork that I do, especially in highly visible public spaces. We're just not seen often enough, and so it's like one of my missions is to just like paint huge brown women all over this town and all over this country. I think that'd be really cool.
Murals impact the visual landscape of a place. It can be a space to share stories that are important to the people living there, but I really try to think about, what is the visual environment of that place, and what are the stories that are missing? Who are the people who aren't being seen? What ideas need amplification? And then, bringing those ideas together in a way that is really beautiful.
So this is actually Zikala Shah. She's Yankton Sioux, and she was a writer and political activist and musician. She just did pretty much everything. She wrote a lot about her experiences with the boarding school era. She's left a lasting impact on Indigenous communities, and I really thought we could honor her in this mural because we are on Ihanktawan land.
I've always enjoyed being a part of a team and working with other people, so I felt like I fit in with these other artists. They are also very welcoming, and they are very good in the way that they give like constructive criticism and feedback so that the mural can be the best that it can be.
We have a really positive energy with each other, and that goes into the mural itself, and then that kind of brings out everything else that's uplifting to the community, and you get so many people driving by that are so supportive of it.
It's always nice to be around artists who are passionate about what they're doing. Just having the opportunity to work with Amber and Darcy and Janae and Sonia, all these artists here in Vermillion has been really just a great opportunity, and I've learned so much from all the artists in this community.
Art becomes, somewhat site-specific because you're catering and working with the people that live there, and that's how you create art that is, for those people. Not just to have your name on it, not just to have it on a wall or in public, but it's, for the people that live there that they get to see and be prideful of. So it's just really about like uplifting the community in general in any way you can.
The mural sits right across from City Hall, which is also a chance for people to see it who come and go from that location. And it's been like the center of several gatherings that have taken place. It's really a point that the community has interacted with in different ways.
This large-scale community art project was completed by many artists and people across the community who shared their energy to bring these vibrant murals to life.
You can't throw a rock without hitting somebody who's an actor or a poet or a maker of some sort.
There's like a 24-hour film festival that has been going for several years here, which is just inviting people to pick up a camera and to make a film and share it. And there's a watercolor society, people who come together and create watercolors together.
You have all these people in the community are just doing things, and we've got these great institutions, a National Music Museum, and we've got a fantastic Shakespeare Festival.
The people of this town see Vermillion as the cultural soul of South Dakota.
And if our artwork can provide a space of beauty, but also a space for people to think about things in a meaningful way, then I think that we're doing our job.
In the community-based work, which is really exciting, is that you keep on working until it's kind of what everybody wants to see. Like everybody has a voice in it. We all have something we're shaping together. And that it really is possible to have that vision in your head for what you want and what your community wants, and working together you can make it happen.
With the support of the Change Network, individual voices are honored and new creative opportunities are available to all of the people of Vermillion.
I think a part of it is really reminding people that everybody can imagine, really the world that they want to live in, and everybody can be a part of creating that world.
It doesn't have to start big, and it doesn't have to start with art with a capital A, right? Culture is all of us. It's what we make and do together as communities. So don't be afraid to like shine a light on it and revel in it. Like, this is who we are.
Interested in learning more? Contact Carla Sampson at csampson@artstrategies.org.